Standard languages never come in a vacuum. They come in because someone has created them, and typically they will create them in ways that will give advantages to the people creating them. Certain things we take for granted, like a dictionary as a way of defining a language, are in fact a lot slipperier than we think they are. Who gets to decide what words go in a dictionary? Who gets to decide what they mean? And we can all come up with words that aren't in dictionaries, and yet we accept as English. How do you define the English language in a very complex world in which native English speakers account for less than a third of the number of people who speak English today? I'm very much interested in sociolinguistic issues, and so I look at various contexts in which English is defined by those who use it, and always for some social purpose, never in some sort of abstract way. So for example, when Standard English arises really in the 17th and the 18th century, and by Standard English I mean regular spelling and dictionary definitions and so forth, it's a kind of English that is acceptable really only to aristocrats and members of the religious orders, people who can have access to formal academic training. If you're not in that group, if you're in the other 90% of society, you have no way of acquiring Standard English. It becomes a way for an in-group, in a sense, to solidify and define its inness in ways that exclude an outside group. I think anytime you make a decision about language, you are ultimately making decisions about people, and that will have advantages for some and disadvantages for others. In the end, I think we don't really care about the language, we care about who speaks it and what they're doing with it. People care very much. They create laws that say English is the official language, or they create university regulations that require a certain competency in English. And this is historical. This goes all the way back, tying social achievement in some ways to the level of English you command. So it's been an issue that has animated an awful lot of English history, I think, in the last 1,500 years. I don't have so much a fixed area as a set of questions I like to ask, which is what I like to do with students too, teach them the questions to ask. And I see Notre Dame as a particularly good opportunity to conduct graduate teaching in that vein. Not so much to convey answers, but to convey questions, because ultimately they're going out to be the next generation of academics, and they need to know what questions to ask. Language doesn't change haphazardly. It changes in systematic ways, but at the same time, it's subject to all of us. 1.5 billion of us speaking the language today. It changes in ways that reflect what we want to do with the world and what we want to imagine ourselves to be.